They sold your soul while you were sleeping, not in a temple, not in a tomb, but in a courtroom draped in legality and silence. While you were halfway across the world chasing peace, a stranger slid a pen across paper and erased your life. You don't remember giving permission. You don't remember saying goodbye to your memories, your bed, your walls, your breath, because you didn't. The lie was signed in your name, forged by hands that wear manicured smiles and carry clipboards like weapons. This isn't just a case of fraud. It's a ritual, a transaction masked in law, bloodless on the outside but violent at the root. What if I told you this isn't rare, that entire communities have been built on control masquerading as order? That Karen wasn't a rogue actor. She was the high priestess of a system built to gut you with a smile. You think this is a neighborhood dispute? No. This is the shadow realm of homeowners associations, where power hides in regulation and theft wears the mask of responsibility. You were never supposed to hear this, but now that you have, the descent begins. There's no going back. They call it neighborhood governance. But it's older than that, ancient even. The HOA isn't just a legal structure, it's a psychological device, a control grid dressed in suburbia. You think those bylaws are about lawn height or mailbox color? No, they're the outward expression of a deeper ritual, conformity through fear. When Karen fined you for holiday lights being uneven, it wasn't about aesthetics. It was a probe, a test to see if you'd bow. The clipboard wasn't for notes, it was a scepter. She ruled not by law, but by leverage. What you didn't see was the hierarchy beneath her. Silent nods, complicit signatures, men in suits quietly profiting behind closed doors. You were the last to know that your home had become a target. The system is elegant. They monitor mail holds, flight departures, social media check-ins, anything that says, he's not home. And the moment your guard is down, the machinery activates. The lie is written, the documents filed, the property sold. You return to find a stranger living your life, with a deed that says you never existed. This wasn't an accident. It was a harvest. Control doesn't begin with chains. It begins with forms, checkboxes, notices slid under doors at 3 a.m. Karen's reign wasn't enforced with force. It was enforced with psychology. She weaponized silence. She knew that shame keeps men quiet, that most won't fight over a mailbox color because it sounds crazy. That's the brilliance. Make the rule ridiculous enough, and resistance becomes self-incriminating. You sound insane trying to explain it, but those absurdities are how they build the prison, one rule at a time. You weren't crazy, you were being conditioned, and while you laughed off the mailbox warning, they were filing your name under vulnerable. HOA power isn't democratic, it's feudal, and Karen, she was your landlord, priestess, and executioner rolled into one. Why? Our neighbors didn't stop her because they were afraid of being next. That's how authoritarian systems sustain themselves, not through support, but through strategic silence. The most dangerous prisons don't lock you in. They convince you you're free. And the whole time, they're watching, waiting for a moment when your absence becomes their opportunity. Your home was never yours. It was leased from an invisible hand, and you were never the owner, just the placeholder. Why would she do it? That's the question everyone asks. What kind of person would sell someone's house behind their back? But that's the wrong question. Karen didn't just wake up one day and decide to destroy you. She was shaped, trained, groomed by a culture of quiet corruption. The HOA wasn't her playground, it was her altar. And every house she stole was a sacrifice to something older, colder, and far more profitable. You see, power has a smell, and once someone like Karen gets a whiff, the line between legal and illegal dissolves. She didn't just forge papers, she forged realities. She built an empire one stolen deed at a time. But here's the dark secret. She wasn't alone. Her brother-in-law filed the deeds. Her sister flipped the houses. A web of smiling conspirators in nice clothes sipping wine at board meetings, laughing over ruined lives. Your vacation was their opportunity. But your pain? That was their profit. And no one outside the system would have believed you, because the system was designed to look clean, fraud with a manicure, theft with a signature, crime in a cashmere sweater, and you were the next check on the list. Pause. Breathe. Because what I'm about to tell you may change the way you see every institution around you. The HOA didn't just act alone. The county clerk approved the sale. The notary looked the other way. The title agency didn't question the forged mail notices. Why? Because the system rewards complicity more than honesty. Everyone gets their cut. Everyone gets paid. And no one asks questions. This is what happens when bureaucracy becomes a weapon. When oversight is replaced with obedience. When money is the only morality. You were the perfect target. Quiet. Gone. Disconnected. And the machine devoured you like it had done to others before. Remember, this wasn't the first house. 2 others had vanished just like yours. And the trail leads higher. To city officials. To real estate cartels. To legal firms that specialize in cleaning up these situations. They call it urban revitalization. But we both know what that means. Gutting communities for profit. If you're hearing this, you're lucky. Most never learn the truth. They just disappear into debt and courtrooms labeled irresponsible or delinquent. But you're waking up. If you're still with me, type this in the comments now. I see the shadows. I see the system. Say it twice. Lock it in. Still here? Good. Then let me pull the curtain back even further. You think Karen's arrest was the end? It was just the decoy. Because when the news cameras came and the handcuffs clicked, the real predators stayed hidden. They always do. They let Karen take the fall, because she was the face, not the brain. Behind her stood men who never touched a deed but collected checks. Developers, hedge fund managers, politicians with quiet shares in redevelopment projects. They've been buying up American neighborhoods piece by piece, but they don't kick in the door. They knock politely with paperwork. They use women like Karen to do the dirty work. Then, when the public rage builds, they throw her under the bus. One bad apple, they say. But rot like this doesn't grow in isolation. It's cultivated. Your home wasn't just real estate. It was territory, and the war for territory never ended. It just changed uniforms, from armor to Armani, from soldiers to solicitors, from invaders to inspectors. You never stood a chance, until now. Because once you've seen the mechanism, you can't unsee it. And now that your eyes are open, they fear you more than you ever feared them. Let's talk about identity. When they stole your house, they didn't just steal property. They tried to erase you. They tried to sever you from your past, your possessions, your proof of existence. You were meant to unravel. That's the true cost of psychological warfare, losing the thread of who you are. But here's what they didn't expect: that you'd rebuild, that you'd find the fragments, that you'd rise not as a victim, but as a witness. Most men break when confronted with systemic betrayal, but some transform. You're not the man who left for Thailand anymore. You're something else now, wiser, sharper, angrier, and your anger is righteous, because it's forged in truth, not illusion. So let them call you paranoid. Let them dismiss you. That's what they do to people who see clearly. But don't stop. Don't look away. Dig deeper. Ask louder. Your story isn't just yours, it's a cipher for thousands of others, and every time you speak it, you shatter their illusion. So type it again in the comments. I see the shadows, I see the system. Because repetition is how spells are broken and how identities are forged. Here's the final truth they never want you to hear. Institutions are not broken. They're working exactly as designed. The HOA didn't fail you. It succeeded. It did what it was built to do. Extract wealth, enforce obedience, and eliminate resistance. That's what most institutions do. Banks, schools, courts, even some churches. All masks on the same face. They create rules not to serve you, but to control you. And they punish those who step outside the maze. Karen was a tyrant, but she was also a mirror. A reflection of the small tyrant lurking in every sanctioned role of authority. The principal, the clerk, the officer, the manager. They don't have to think. The title gives them power, and they follow orders. You were caught in a machine that feeds on apathy, wrapped in legality, and decorated with respectability. And once you've seen the machine, your only choices are submission or resistance. There is no middle path, not anymore. Your home was never just wood and concrete. It was a symbol of sovereignty, and they came for it. Now ask yourself, what will they come for next? So what now? You can't unlive what happened. You can't get back every photograph, every memory they threw in a dumpster, but you can choose what this moment makes of you. Will you forget? Will you fold? Or will you become what they fear most, a man who remembers and refuses to be erased? This story isn't just about a stolen house. It's about stolen lives, stolen voices, stolen truths. And when men like you begin to reclaim those things, the system starts to crack. One crack becomes a fissure becomes a collapse, and collapse is how the old world ends. You've walked through fire. You've seen the inside of the machine. Now it's your turn to become the disruptor. Tell your story. Show others the cracks. Don't retreat into silence. Weaponize your voice. This isn't a YouTube video. It's a rite of passage. And if you're still here, you're ready. Ready for the world behind the veil. Ready to become ungovernable, because the man who sees the system is the man who can break it. They tried to erase you. Instead, they awakened you. And now your eyes burn with the light of something older than their rules. Something they can't tax, fine, or foreclose. Sovereignty. You're not just reclaiming a house. You're reclaiming dominion over your own story. And every man watching this has a choice. Keep living in the illusion, or step into the war. Because it is a war. Not with bullets or banners, but with documents, silence, surveillance, and shame. And like all wars, it begins with awareness. So don't turn this video off and go back to sleep. Let it infect you. Let it haunt you. Let it radicalize your understanding of everything around you. You were not born to obey. You were born to see, to speak, to lead. And if they ever come for you again, whether it's your house, your job, your voice, you'll be ready. Because now you know. The shadows move among us, but the light is waking up. And so are you.